What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is LaBelle, and today we're talking about how do you get better at FIFA. We're gonna look at the 5 keys to success, in my opinion. Let me know what you think, of course, in the comments. And if this is a video you've been waiting for, you already know what to do. Slap a thumbs up. That's a good way of showing some support. If you're brand new to the channel, it is free to subscribe. But I'm not here to hold you up, so let's talk about what's happening. Number 1, looking at a new feature, timed finishing. I know some of you have been skeptics to accepting the time finish. It's something new. Maybe you're not ready to get on that bandwagon, but it will make that big of a difference. If you want to improve immediately, if you can master the time finishing, you will. And I have multiple tutorials covering how to score the timed finish, how to perfect it, what to look for, the easy setups. But I have to reiterate that it's that important. I would not put this in my top 5 if it wasn't. And I realize we have a lot of stubborn FIFA players. So many of you tweet me saying, I don't want to learn it. I'm not gonna put in the time. I'm not doing it. Is it really worth it? Yes, the price is right. Learn the time finish. You've been watching this event in Paris. Guys that do the time finishing technique well, they're doing well. Guys that tried not to use it very often, they're struggling with finishing. Number 2, you have to be able to recognize and also react to pressure in FIFA 19. Especially if you're winning a game, your opponent's going to bring more pressure. And we've seen that constant pressure can be kind of overpowered, or even when your opponent has press after possession loss, they're going to have bodies in front of you and you cannot be nervous. You cannot start to rush your gameplay. And I'm going to put out a separate video discussing how to beat players that are trying to pressure you into mistakes. But the point is, you have to be able to handle this situation, and you should look to use your goalkeeper and then send it forward. Or even with those defenders, it's not a bad thing to be able to lob the ball up to your attacking players or your wingers. That will allow you to skip over all that midfield pressure because they're going to bring the double teams. Number 3, in this year's title, you must be patient. You cannot rush your gameplay. And as you get frustrated, you tend to rush, and you need to be honest with yourself. You have to be able to examine your gameplay as it's happening, as it's unfolding, and take a break. Get away from the console. Because once you start to get emotional, you get upset, you're breaking something, in FIFA 19, there's no way. There's no bounce back because this title is all about patience, and you have to have the additional buildup, especially with how good the AI defending is. Number 4, let's call it what it is. The squad that you use matters. This is not an installment that's going to allow you to have 11 overpowered players and you're expecting success or consistent results in the weekend league. Forget about it. If you're aiming for 25 plus wins and your team only costs 50,000 coins, I just don't see it. Now, with that being said, you don't need to have a team full of icons. You don't have to have Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi and every spectacular player in the game, but you do need to show some improvement, start building up that team, and you just can't expect positive results on a repeated basis if your team's not up to a certain standard. And I'd be a liar if I didn't mention that that's going to help you get better results in FIFA, plain and simple. And you can do that trading, you can put money into the game, you can grind the game. You do have options. This year is a wonderful year for trading. I see a lot of opportunity for profit if you're willing to put in the time. Number 5, I'm opening up the discussion board for shot selection. And you see, I'm not talking about defense in this countdown because I feel that the defense does so much for you. I've already put out multiple tutorials and I'm going to talk even more in depth about defending. But in my top 5, I think of all the matches I play and how lost some of my opponents are with defending and how difficult it is to still break them down. And I think, well, maybe that's something I don't need to bring up. However, shot selection, when you choose to use the power shot, the time finish, the finesse, the chip, the low driven, now that, my friends, matters. Otherwise, you have 20 shots in a game and you might score 1 goal. That's not a good look. It's not acceptable. And that's not going to get you to a good placement in division rivals. It's not going to get you good results over the weekend league. Being clinical will always be a factor. And specifically this year, choosing the correct shot selection at the right time in the right location on the pitch, it's much more difficult than what we've seen in some of the past installments. Thanks again for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let's talk about it. And I have a lot more content come for you ASAP.
I remember swimming with piranhas, trying to sell them onions for 100. If we being honest, I just feel like I'm the hottest. When you get it from the muscle, it's so hard to be modest. We ain't gonna go to college. But we was on campus with the product. Need a new squatter every summer. Tryna stay